where to begin. Right, let's get cracking. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am actually like having a filming day, so there'll actually be like videos in concession after each other, which is amazing for me. But no, seriously, I have got a lot of ideas. I've had like a bit of a break, and I'm back and I'm excited for kind of all the different content that I'm gonna start putting on here. I really want to have fun with it again. I really want to enjoy it. I remember when I first started YouTube, I just had idea after idea after idea, and I did it because I loved it, and I didn't fall out of love with it or anything. I just kind of didn't have the inspiration. I didn't have like the want to make videos, whereas now I'm like so excited to start making videos again and just put so much passion into them. So I think that the content on this channel is going to get a lot better. There's actually going to be content on there, so that makes a change, doesn't it? But today I am continuing with my Drama School Diaries series, and I'm going to talk about term 2 because I've now started term 3. I'm going to talk about term 2, which was possibly my favourite term. It's a term where I really felt like I came to my own and just fully like embraced the course and really enjoyed it. If you don't already know, by the way, and this is the first time you're seeing a video of my Drama School Diaries series, I am at E15 and I study world performance. I'm in my second year and I've just completed my second term. I'll link the playlist down below just in case you want to see any previous ones or anything like that. But yeah, so I am currently in my second year and I've started my third term, but I'm going to fill you in on second term. So second term we did storytelling, playwriting, non-Western character, we did a bit of voice as well, and we did mask. It was honestly one of my favourite terms. I don't know what it was. Like, I love writing. Like you guys probably know, I've done spoken word on here and I've kind of spoken about it briefly before. But I'm very tempted actually now to do a master's in playwriting. I just absolutely love it. I just think writing is so interesting and there's so many different techniques that you can use and stuff like that. So I really I actually found playwriting really difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I love writing, I found it so frustrating because I'm so used to writing monologues and I'm so used to writing spoken word pieces, so just from one person's perspective. I'm not used to writing conversations or scenes with numerous characters, so for me it was a big challenge, but I enjoyed it and I felt like I got quite a lot out of it. So playwriting gets a big thumbs up from me. But yeah, it was challenging, but I think that's important. You come to drama school to be challenged, don't you? You want to be pushed, so definitely push me. And then non-Western character, this was one that I think was my biggest struggle throughout the term. I found it so difficult to click with it. I appreciated it massively. I thought it was a really interesting way to like kind of introduce theatre and stuff like that. It was basically, we were taught by this guy called Shambu, who is brilliant. He's really, really great. And we basically were taught, it's a type of Indian dance called Bharatanatyam. Might be pronouncing that wrong. I'm really hoping I'm not, because I did study it for a term, so I really should pronounce it correctly, but let's be honest, I'm not good with pronouncing. I said pronouncing instead of pronouncing, so that just kind of says everything, doesn't it? But anyway, we got taught kind of like his version of it, because he kind of he's creating at the moment his own kind of like performance and Indian dance influenced style called Naratanatyam, which again I may have pronounced wrong, but I'll leave Shane Shambu's like his website down below just in case you're interested and want to learn a bit more. But basically we kind of went on a journey with that. And there were so many lessons where I like really clicked with it, and was really enjoying it, and I was like really letting myself go. And it was, for me, dance-wise, it was possibly the best because I really wasn't overthinking the steps as much. I'm not a dancer, it's not a thing that I do unless I'm, you know, had a few rum and cokes. It's not really, I'm not like good at it. It's not something I would be like, yes, I can dance. I'd be like, I can probably act and I can probably sing, but can I dance? I mean, I probably don't look awkward when I do it. I just wouldn't say I'm a dancer. So doing non-Western character was quite difficult for me, and I found it quite challenging. And I found it most frustrating because I just felt like I couldn't click with it for so long. But eventually I did, and I do appreciate it massively, but I think it was one of my biggest struggles of the term, but I did enjoy it, and I thought it was a very good learning process, and I thought it was a good part to the term as well. It was a good contrast to everything else that we were doing. Then we also did storytelling, which for me, storytelling was the best part of the term for me. I absolutely loved it. It was so interesting, and it's amazing how many different ways you can approach telling a story to someone, and not just someone, like a group of people. You can, how to aim it at kids, how to aim it at older people, and also like I felt like a child every single lesson we had. It was amazing, and we all kind of told each other stories and stuff like that I guess you could tell kids quite easily, but I was absolutely loving it. I really enjoyed like people telling me stories about all these like made up things, like these animals that they thought of and stuff like that. Like I had a story about Gary the gecko, and basically I understand that chameleons are actually the ones that change colour, not geckos. I do know, but I got confused in the lesson. But basically, so Gary the gecko, the whole thing with my story is that he couldn't change the other half of his body. He could only change like the top half of his arms and his head. He couldn't change his legs and his tail, and it was very frustrating for him because all his friends at like gecko school were really good at it, but he wasn't. So he spoke to Gertrude the gecko as well, and she basically told him to go and see Mystic Greg, and then he went to go and see Mystic Greg, and Mystic Greg made him drink this like magic potion and stuff like that, and they like meditated, and then all of a sudden he was able to do it. But in actual fact the potion was just water, and all he needed to do was actually believe in himself. Yep, it was very cheesy, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And telling our final stories at the end, we basically had 2 like big storytelling days, and it was just so nice to sit around with blankets and be really comfortable, and sometimes you had to get up and do stuff depending on people's stories, and it was so interesting just to kind of like sit there and be told stories or anecdotes about people's lives. Like I absolutely loved it. It was so fun. One of my stories as well was based on a book, which I'll quickly grab. These books actually kind of go together, but my story was based on this little book here, which is the little book of Hugar. This is my final story for like my assessment. And it's really interesting. I do recommend it just as a book in general, and it is The Danish Way to Live Well, and it is written by the guy who basically is the CEO of the Happiness Institute, and this is his second book here. I don't know how to pronounce this one, I'm afraid, but they're on Amazon and they're like super cheap. But it was just really interesting. As you can see, I've got like all my tabs here of kind of like certain things. So here I've got kind of like an interesting thing about 10 things that will make your home more like Hugarling. So basically, like, I'll have a look, I'll show you. So there's things like a fireplace. It's basically just a book of cozy. That's what I think. Here's like a beautiful photo from the book. It's basically a book of cozy, and I just liked the idea of someone kind of not completely at home with themselves, but wanting to kind of find that essence and kind of find themselves a bit of Hugar. I recommend this book just because it's really nice, and it kind of made me think about the more important kind of things in life, and also how like little things are so important, like little candles and fairy lights and kind of just little things like that, just to make you feel so much more at home, which has helped me quite a bit as well because I do get very homesick. So I really enjoyed this, and this one is really interesting as well. It basically is the search for the happiest people, and a lot of them are found in Copenhagen. This, for some reason, arrived like upside down. I don't know if you can see that, so I have to read it this way, which is very strange. But they actually have done studies and stuff. I can't believe there's even like a happiness institute. I find that amazing. I really want to visit if you're allowed. So there's one thing here that says the combined average of world happiness reports. The first one is Denmark, second Switzerland, third is Norway, and the UK is actually like third from the bottom, which is quite sad. From 0 to 10 we're on a 6.79 average. So I just think it's very important to kind of like embrace things that make you happy. I'm actually going to be doing a tea talk very soon. I'm going to film it today, but it's going to go up next week, all about kind of like happiness and different things like that. It's kind of a little bit of a tea talk update on my life, and just a couple of things that I've been doing recently to make myself happy and do stuff for me, and I'll explain all of that in the other tea talk. Little cheeky little promo for myself there, so that's sad, isn't it? But yeah, so I basically use these books for that, but I just wanted to mention them because I thought they were great. Another little book that came in handy, and it is the little book of astrology. I have always found astrology massively interesting. I don't know if you noticed, I wear like a little pendant, a gold pendant most days, and it is the Gemini symbol. I think I am quite reasonably a true Gemini. I'm not a very jealous person, and I'm very loyal, which are two loyal, you're not like, apparently Geminis aren't that loyal, they're very prone to cheating. I've never cheated on anyone because I'm not a dickhead. So I don't really, like, there's certain things that I don't completely agree with, so I kind of wanted to learn a bit more, and in here it talks to you all about like birth charts and stuff, and I found that really interesting. So I basically studied it because we had to make our own mask. I'll show you mine in a second, this term. So I wanted to make a mask that was kind of astrology themed, and I decided to base it on my own birth chart. I kind of focused on my moon sign, rising sign, and actual birth sign. My birth sign and rising sign are both Gemini, but my moon sign is Aquarius. It's very confusing, but if you're interested in astrology, I would definitely say this is a good one to start with, and then possibly look at your own birth chart, because they're really interesting. And I'm not a person that's like, I don't believe in horoscopes and stuff. Like, I find them funny to read, but I don't believe that, but I do think birth charts are a thing. These are my cue cards actually from my presentation, because we do a big presentation after we made our mask over the term. So what you'll put in for your birth chart is you'll put in your location of birth, your time of birth, and obviously like your date of birth. And it all depends on how that lines up with how the stars are aligned and stuff like that, and then you can read it and it can tell you lots of information. Like, for example, like where your like Venus is at the time is how you tend to like approach love and stuff like that. And I just found it generally really interesting. So if you're into astrology, I would recommend it. I'll just quickly show you my mask now, just so you can get an idea of what I did. We have two choices when we make a mask. We can make a performance mask, or we can make a like decorative mask. I made a decorative mask, so this is my mask. I don't like the outside that much, not gonna lie to you, but here we've got the Gemini symbol, because that is my like rising sign, hence the sun. So this is actually based on my own face, and then I accentuated it with lots of different things, but then it's the inside that's kind of like the cool bit. And as you can see, this is a little moon, and that's the Aquarius constellation, because that's my moon sign, and then my actual birth sign is Gemini again. But yeah, this is the kind of thing that I did. I just thought it was really cool, and I'm actually really happy with the inside, not that happy with the outside, but it's fine, that's not the main part of it. So yeah, so this is my mask. It took me a lot of time and a lot of effort, but I think it paid off, and I actually quite enjoy having it on my wall. So there you go. I think that's kind of everything. I mean, we do voice training as well, which is incredibly important, and I am super chuffed that we get to do it. There's not really lots to say on voice training. We just kind of focused on text-based stuff, which was really interesting, and I focused mainly on Top Girls by Carol Churchill. I did a scene with another person, and our voice teacher actually gave us some very good acting advice, which was very helpful. But yeah, so that's basically my term 2 review. My favourite term so far, absolutely loved it, thought it was brilliant, and we also got to start Devising Festival, which was amazing. It's something that World Performance students put on themselves. We had a committee which were brilliant. They organised everything so well, down to a T, so hats off and clicks to the it's like the snaps. It's like, you know, have you ever seen Legally Blonde when they're like, snaps for this person, snaps for their committee. There we go, snaps for you guys. But yeah, no, so we had Devising Festival, which is basically where we have our own play ideas and stuff like that, and we audition our casts and put them on. We actually put them on in 3rd term, just because of the way things worked out, but I had the whole 2nd term to rehearse. My piece was called LV3, and I will be filming it very soon, so you can actually watch it, because I'm incredibly proud of it, and my cast were amazing, and they basically brought my baby to life. It's been an idea that I've had for like a year and a half, and I wanted to see if it worked, and I kind of think it did. So hopefully you guys will see that soon, and let me know if you enjoy it. I'm just trying to branch out and kind of just try out different things. So yes, that was my 2nd term in review, Drama School Diaries. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you again for a tea talk and life update very soon. Bye guys. Just want you to be able to see my top, because I think it's cool. It's from Topshop and it says Maybe Baby. Did we do mask? Yes, we did do mask, because I made this mask that's sitting here.